Hello, witches,
Hello.
and welcome to Thursday Night Live at 8. I am your host, Aurora Moon, and I do have my sidekick with me finally.
I'm back. Tell a friend.
Anyways, witches, we've got what do I have tonight? I almost forgot. No, I didn't forget.
Are
I
you
didn't
new?
forget. I am new. No, I'm not new to witchcraft.
Nuh-uh.
But it's a new one that I'm doing tonight. So if you got your piece of paper and pens ready, I'm going to talk to you about what you need to do to get started in your witchcraft journey. Now, this is just a list, and this is just my personal list that I wish I had somebody tell me back in the time that I started my journey. But I'm now looking back, I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because if I did, then I probably wouldn't have found out what I have along the way by doing my own research. So that's the good thing about not having somebody tell you what to do, right? Or where to go and how to find your information, right? There's many places that you guys can start, but I'm going to start with my favorite book. It's my baby.
It's right up there with Rosemary.
Yes, it's very close to Rosemary. Yeah. And if I were to lend you this book, you'd see by how many pages are flipped and turned and highlighted and stuff that you'd know that I've gone through it thoroughly.
Well used.
Very well used, okay?
Well loved.
But this is my favorite book still to this day. It's my favorite book that I've gotten, and it's To Ride a Silver Broomstick. Let me try that again. To Ride a Silver Broomstick by Silver Raven Wolf. And I think it only took me 3 days to read it. Like literally. Now, it's funny because I dated this when I first bought it.
Sounds
Look
right.
at that.
That you meant you dated
August 26th.
Oh, that you meant you took it out for dinner and gave it
No,
flowers.
I didn't date.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I love it that much.
I can see the romance.
I know.
Candles and flowers.
The big pages, I know. But August 26th, 1998 is when I first purchased this book. So 25 years ago. And I even remember where it was when I started reading it. I was working, and I think I was working at Woodbine Center, and I lived in downtown Mississauga. And it freaking took me like an hour to get to work. So I would take this book and I would read it each way to my work. I think I had it done in 3 days. Like literally, I had it done in 3 days. And that's because it's packed with information. It's crazy. If I were to only recommend one book, this would be it. I really would. And that's because it has a pack of information. Now, if you don't have access to books, and I get it, some are expensive, some you can't get ahead, you can always go to the library and you can always find lots of information there. But, and the internet, guys, use the internet. We didn't have this back in the day, like back in the early 80s when I first started getting interested in it. I didn't start actually practicing until 1998, which I would have been, how old was I? 24. 24.
You've exposed.
I know I've exposed my age now. But with having the access to the internet as we do, you can find a lot of this information without having to purchase books. And if I were to start a list, and I did, what to research as a novice witch. Now, please don't use the word baby.
Drives me nuts.
It drives me crazy because no, you're not a baby. You're not a baby. You're new, yes. You're inexperienced, yes. You're taking your first steps with it, yes, but you're no baby.
It's like going to a job and say, hey, I'm a baby librarian. Or I'm a baby cook.
Why would you say
Drives
that?
me nuts.
Yes, I know. It does me too. So don't consider yourself a baby. Consider yourself a new novice, inexperienced witch, whatever you wish. But once you get started, don't refer yourself to that unless you want to.
I will hunt you down.
To each their own.
No,
but it
not
just
teach their no.
I know. I'm saying that because I'm trying not to be
careful.
judgmental.
No, don't.
But I'm being judgmental. Don't be a baby. Okay, so let me check off my list so I don't forget things.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Okay, so I would say one of the main things you should check is what the difference is between pagan, what is witch, and what is Wiccan, because they're not the same. I have made mention more than a few times that I do not consider myself Wiccan, even though I do follow the moon. I do follow the equinox and the solstice and stuff like that. I do celebrate a lot of that, but I don't consider myself Wiccan because I consider myself spiritual, because I've taken things from so many different areas of my craft that I can't call it Wiccan, or at least I don't feel that I can call it Wiccan.
Wiccan has more rules. Like,
yeah,
you have to take, if you got moon water out during the moon, make sure it's gone before the sun comes up.
Yes.
Like, it's more rules.
Yes.
Which is fine if you're into that.
Or the three, or they have the rule of three.
Yes.
I don't believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do a spell on your ass, I'm doing a spell on your ass. I'm not caring if it's coming back, because I'm doing a protection around me always.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it, because I only do. I will always start off with a healing spell first before I even go there in anything bad to anybody. I don't do that unless like I feel like I have to. Somebody's hurting me. Yes.
Sorry.
Were you going to ask me a question?
No, I was just saying, Sherry, Scott Cunningham. I like him as well.
Yes.
And she was mentioning Deborah Blake and Dorothy Morrison and Kate West. Those ones are actually really good. Scott Cunningham I like because he's easy to understand. And Dan,
see,
House Them Dragons.
I wasn't a fan of Scott Cunningham. I do have one of his books. I do, like, for the solitary practitioner. Like I said, I'm not Wiccan, but I do have a lot of these type books, and that was because I needed to educate myself. So back in the day, we didn't have Google and at least not the same way as we do now, with all the information that we have at our fingertips now, where before you had to go and buy books. So I did buy a whole bunch of books. I found Scott Cunningham. He's good, but I found him hard to read for me, because I liked the flow of Silver Raven Wolf. I felt like it was me writing it or reading it from my perspective.
I'm curious about it,
actually. Where I found that Scott Cunningham was more of a routine, but he's also coming from a very Wiccan tradition, where Silver Raven Wolf is a witch, and she's a new generation witchcraft. I'm not sure if she is Wiccan. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've read this book to remember if she is, but go with what resonates with you. I've got so many different books. I brought out a few. I've got this one too, The Green Witch. Great book as well.
And same thing with the internet. You're going to see like a whole bunch of information, and it can be overwhelming. It's like, what's right? What's wrong? What's right? What you go with your gut, your intuition.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is what I do is I filter. So if I find that a lot of sites are saying the same thing, and then I go with my intuition on it, and if it connects both, then it's good.
Yeah.
And I just filter the rest of the fluff that is good for other people that like it.
Yeah, exactly. Where, like what I was saying with when we were talking about the pagan witch and Wiccan has more of a it's a religion as well as doing witchcraft together. Where you're pagan, you can be pagan and not be a witch. You can just, because it's based on a religion. Where being a witch, you can be a witch and be pagan or Wiccan or just a witch. Which is what I consider myself. I just consider myself as a witch because I came from a more energy healing area. When I first started on my path, I came from a Reiki perspective, and I dealt with energy in a very, very different way. And that when I started learning my Reiki is when my spell work became different for me, because now I knew what the energy felt like. Now, one thing you'll also notice, there will be a lot of people that will mention that you need to connect with deities. That's completely up to you. I'm not going to say I have yet to connect with a deity. I'm working towards working with Hecate right now. However, with starting out, I didn't start off there. I started off with angels. I started off with angels and my guides. Then I went to star seeds, so intergalactic stuff that I worked with. That's another whole other can of worms. I won't even touch on that.
Good times.
Yeah, good times. Which is a little bit, I mean, it's different, but to me, it's still connected, because I'm open to connecting and working with any spiritual being that is open to healing and promoting wellness and an expansion. I don't want to be in an energy that is low vibrational. So I've connected recently. Actually, the longest that I've been working with anything would have been my ancestors. You do not need to work with a deity. You do not need to work with angels. You do not need to work with your ancestors. You do not need to work with your guides. Work with what feels right. I actually started off with just saying, I'm open to working with the right energy to come with my spell or to bring about my spell. That way, I let my guides or my gods and goddesses come in and work with me as they deem fit, because I didn't want to dictate who. Maybe they didn't want to work with me. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't the right match. Maybe I was insisting to work with somebody and they're like, no, no, no. I don't know. But I just left it open to allow the energy to come in how I needed to work with. So I've worked with Archangel Michael. I've worked with Archangel Hanael, Gabriel, Raphael. And then I've gone to my guides, as well as, like I just said, my spirit, my intergalactic starseed family. And now I'm down to my ancestors. And next might be my deities. But each level, I'm learning something new that brings into my practice. Okay.
So for Tiffany, you're saying you're from a small town. I'm from a small town of 96 people in Manitoba. So I totally get you, that it's that vibe that we got. We got the vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to keep up everyone's commenting. But yeah, I myself I started off being open to whatever comes in, and I wanted to connect to a deity, but I wasn't too sure who, and I just kind of left it open. And then I was starting to get signs constantly everywhere, and Hecate is the one that I'm specifically connected with, and she's connected with me, but I am also open to other goddesses and gods at the same time.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'm careful because you don't want a jealousy, because she's kind of a little jealous. But I'm careful. I make sure that the priority and the offerings are to her, but I also include everybody else too. Yeah. But yeah, you don't need deities either. You can just
and there's no rules to it. No. If somebody tells you, well, you're not really a witch if you're not working with deities. No, that's not it at all. Some witches don't even work with anything. So go with what feels right for you, but make sure it's the right energy. Just because you want to work with an energy doesn't necessarily mean that they want to work with you. So just keep that in mind. My advice would be just to be open to the energy that is wanting to come to you. Type of witches. This is another thing that I see a lot of people getting stuck on. What kind of witch am I? You're a witch.
I got stuck on it in the beginning. Don't
get stuck in the labels.
I am a
might be a crystal witch, might be a white witch, might be a green witch, might be a blue witch, might be purple, who knows? But each witch might resonate more. You might feel more connected to the sea. So you might be a sea witch. You might feel connected more to the moon. You might be a moon witch. My name, Cynthia, actually means moon goddess. That is why I chose, well, Aurora Moon, it took a long time before Aurora Moon actually came to me, and that came through meditation. But it was because of where my name came from. I was very careful with how I was finding my witch name and allowing it to come with me. I didn't force it to come.
Same was with me as well. My witch name is Athene Noctua, which means a little while. Little while. Right. Yeah. Little while, you know.
A little
owl, which is the messenger that Hecate uses. But Shannon, the meaning of Shannon is little old wise one. Little old wise owl. So
see,
I connected my name, and also it worked good with Hecate as little.
Right. And
owl.
that was just through our own guidance.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't us searching or looking for it or anything like that. So let it come to you.
Yeah.
If you might start off, I know that I did. I started off feeling like I was a green witch or a white witch or even a divination witch. You'll hear some of these terms. If you want to consider yourself as one of those, by all means.
Or all of them.
Or all of them, by all means. You'll hear eclectic, you'll hear gray. If I'm going to consider
I was eclectic at first, that's what I thought. And then she had explained it to me. I wish someone told me earlier. Because then she was explaining, okay, well, this is what that means. But you're also into this and you're also into that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. So why am I labeling myself with one? Why am I restricting myself with one name?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I'm going to consider myself as a type of witch now, I would consider myself a gray witch because I do go into those dark areas. And that's because of the healer in me. When it comes to healing, there's no constant light. In order to know what that light is, you have to embrace the darkness, because that's where your pain is. That's where your trauma is. That's where your hurt is. That's where your shadow self is. And if you learn how to deal with your shadow self, then you can see the light within yourself. And that's hard to do. That comes through healing. But the gray witch part of me is I can see things as duality. I can see things as being white and very clean, pure, beautiful. But I also see the black part of the witch, where there is negative things that can come up and things that you have to work at and protection in your shadow self. So that felt more like me now. And I resonate more as a gray witch, and I will consider myself as a gray witch now. If I'm going to give myself a title, that's what I've given myself. But that's because I don't have a problem with studying any one of those areas. It's not easy to go into the darkness because there's a lot of pain there. But with that pain comes healing once you embrace it. You have to know where that pain's coming from. And you can't possibly know where that pain's coming from if you're not willing to go there.
And Tiffany, yeah, like if you're talking to a therapist or counselor and they recommend shadow work, yeah, it's fine. It's not unusual. It's not even in witch terms. It's also in therapist terms.
Oh, yeah.
To look at the shadow is the deepest inner part of you.
Right.
So that's why they call it the shadow work.
Yeah.
So yeah, psychiatrists use it.
It's normal. And it's because that shadow part of yourself is where you store your trauma, your pain, your hurt, your anger, side. the dark side. And you're not going to know what light is if you've never experienced the dark. And sometimes people have to go into the midst of the dark, deep by themselves in the woods, right in there, before they can realize that they have been light all along.
Could be even a swamp, for the love of. Very swampy.
Could be very swampy. But sometimes these things happen in order for better things to come out of it. And we learn from these experiences. Okay. So any part of your journey of finding out where you are on your witch journey is going to be a new discovery. And please don't think that it's easy. Going through your life as a witch, I guarantee if you are a witch and you're here watching this, more than likely you are the black sheep of the family. And if you're the black sheep of the family, that you've been either rejected or shunned or misunderstood or rejected, abandoned, whatever it is, we have a tendency of embracing that black sheepness and
the outcast,
being the outcast and finding the other outcasts, because that's where we find family.
Yeah.
We find family in the other outcasts, and that's because we understand. We see things from a different perspective that nobody else sees, and we can't possibly find a happy medium when there is no possible way that they're going to meet you in the halfway. There isn't. If they're not willing to meet you halfway, you're never going to find that happy even balance. You're not. So more than likely,
that just don't want to learn.
No, and it can be stubbornness, it could be pride, it could be family backgrounds,
what other people think.
What other people think, absolutely. That's a huge one. That's a huge one. And instead of embracing, for instance, your kids or your family or whatever, okay, most of you are probably around my age that have had parents or siblings that you don't talk to. So, and that is because you refuse to fall into line with what they feel is acceptable or approved, any type of sort, and you're just like, no, I'm not going to follow your terms. The commoners. I mean, you're not going to follow because it doesn't feel right.
Different is scary to them.
Yes, and we don't see that. We embrace that. We understand that that's what a witch is. We have, if you're a witch and you really, really feel that you're a witch, you're here for a reason. You're looking this up for a reason. You're experiencing for a reason. You're searching for a reason. It has brought you here for a reason. And that reason is your mind has already put you on that journey for finding answers. You're looking for answers. We're all looking for answers. We're trying to make sense of this crazy freaking world that we live in. And let me tell you, this past October, we haven't even hit the new moon yet. And it's been freaking crazy.
I just can't wait for the new moon. I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting.
I'm waiting for Pluto to be out of retrograde. Because it's been, yes. Okay. So,
yep.
My
daughter, welcome to the black sheep family.
My God. I
know.
Her
and I are both shunned. Yes. Our reasons were different, and it didn't have to do with witchcraft. We were shunned from the family for other reasons. But yeah, now we're extra shunned because this is so bad.
But you're not, because you gained me as a sister.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I got
all of you as family. Thank God.
I don't communicate with my family either, because there's a lot of trauma there, and I'm not willing to be treated with disrespect. I'm not willing to be ignored. I'm not willing to be considered angry because I speak up. I don't want to, I've been considered these things over and over again. And I'm like, no, I'm angry because this is how you guys are looking at me. And I don't understand that. I can finally, for the first time, be myself in front of people without having to worry about
judgment
or my hair color or whatever. Like, I freaking love this hair color, by the way.
Little
and you know what?
Fire over here. Hot. She's hot. Oh! Whoa, I gotta move over. I'm getting warm over here. I gotta take my clothes off.
It's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes. I know, we could go on.
We could.
So
we'll stop there.
So guys, don't get stuck in the whole witch thing. Follow your path. Walk to the beat of your own drum. Don't let somebody tell you what that beat is.
It's your own drum.
It's your own drum. Make it, beat it, whatever you need to do with your drum, do it.
The hardest thing is coming out to your family.
Yeah.
When you discuss the fact that you are learning all this and becoming a witch or whatever.
Because so many people look at it as
the
a negative
hardest part.
thing.
But just do it.
But if
the
you
more
actually,
you do it, the more you say it, and the more you do it and put it out there, the
you don't
easier it'll
care.
become.
You don't care.
It'll be so much easier.
I don't care anymore. And I
No.
remember it was about 3 years ago, right when I started my Facebook group. And some of you guys will know because some of you have been following me since I started it, which is amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all of you. But I started that because I was in a place that I needed to find people that were like me. I was sick and tired of not being myself, that I couldn't be myself in front of family. I couldn't be myself in front of friends. That's because I was surrounded by the wrong people that just insisted that I was a negative person and all of this because I was going through my own struggles. Mm-hmm. And just because I was going through my own struggles didn't make me a negative person. What I was going through was negative, and I was dealing with it as positively as I could. But the more I had people tell me that I was being negative, and I would sit back and go, how am I being negative? When all I'm trying to do is express myself and find support. No, believe me, when you find the right people and the right support, you get a cheerleader. You get somebody cheering you on. You get somebody standing behind you and or not even standing behind me. She's right beside me.
Fuck, mess with me. Oh. Do I tell them about the dollar store?
The dollar store?
Oh, when I was your bodyguard. I'm her bodyguard when I go out, eh? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's beautiful, so you got to watch, right? Careful, right? So we go to the dollar store. This is way off topic, but I feel like I need to say this.
I don't even remember.
Go to the dollar store, and there was a guy that was in the lineup, and I was like, I was telling everybody I'm her bodyguard. I'm like, move out of the way. She's coming through. She's got her cart. Move out of the way. And I'm watching this guy. And then just as we were starting to leave and pull out of the parking lot, he gets in his car, and I'm like, still watching him. I'm her bodyguard. I got you.
She's got me.
She's
got me. But guys,
anyways,
when you are surrounded by the right people, it's a huge difference. It was one of the hardest things, and I'm going to tell you this right now. It is one of the hardest things to walk away from people that you love, that you think that loved you in return. And when you don't see the support, when you don't see the cheering on and anything like that, and you sit back going, why am I with these people? They don't make me feel good. Exactly. Why am I? It doesn't matter if it's family. It doesn't matter.
It could be anyone. Doesn't
it could be
necessarily
anybody.
Even have to be family.
And now I'm telling you this right now. Now I don't tolerate it. If I don't like something, I say it.
Fuck it.
If I don't like somebody,
fuck you.
I walk away. If I have to, I'll say something. No, I don't like you. Nothing personal. Just not vibing, not feeling it. Okay. But too many people are either too sensitive or too afraid to actually speak up and say something in fear that it's going to hurt somebody's feelings instead of honoring themselves. No, wrong. You've got to speak up. That's why so many of us are resurrecting. The reason why so many of us are finding each other is because this right here, your throat chakra, is clearing. And it's clearing, and you're meeting people because we're vibing. We're all vibing at a frequency that we're finding each other. And when you find those people, you stick with them because those are the ones that make you feel good. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that support you. Whether or not, if you're having a bad day, you don't want to stay there all day, but you can at least share with somebody that, I'm having a really fucking shitty day, and just say it. What's that, Stephanie?
I don't communicate with my parents because they're dead. It doesn't mean anything. You can still communicate even though they're dead.
Stephanie.
Hello, spirit board. But anyways, carry on. Yeah. And Saffron, I'm impressed with you. My daughter, like, what did I raise? She had a good point. Wow. She's saying that eventually you learn to accept who's good for you for family and who isn't your family. You get taught blood means everything. I always say you don't come from family. Family comes from you. Fucking right. Oh, Sherry's youngest son sees dead people. Like her oldest, but
Cool.
the youngest is science-minded and refuses to admit it. That's really cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, unfortunate for Stephanie. But hey, hello, you can still communicate. Nice try getting out of that.
Yes.
Stephanie.
Yes. Because you have books like this out there. Mediumship. Now, this is the second book. This is one of my teachers, Marianne Kennedy. She's a renowned psychic medium, and she deals with dead people all the time. You can catch her on, I think, Dufferin County. I can't remember what it's called anymore, but I'll post it. I have a video with her when we did a psychic investigation. I can't remember what her channel was called, but she's amazing when it comes to mediumship. I already have the first book, but you have that at home.
Sure
so
do.
I picked up the second book to support her. This is more of how to do platform work. But you're going to have tons of books out there. One of my favorites, just to get back on the books for just a second, some of my favorites are the Bible books. You got the Psychic Bible. You got the Crystal Bible. I've got an aromatherapy Bible here. Here's the other one. Okay. And the Crystal Bible, there's probably about 6 or 7 of them, if not more now. Okay. Because there's so many freaking crystals. But these are great books that have amazing pointers in them too. Okay.
And they have pictures. So if you're overwhelmed by words.
Yes. Yes.
Me. Overwhelmed by words.
And just so you guys know, I'm with this new arrangement for October. I've decided that I'm going to do 1 week of meditations, 1 week of teaching the witchcraft stuff. Next week will be a spell, and then the following week will be whatever I choose to do. I'll mix it up. Maybe
Unless
it's a recipe of something.
Let
me know. Okay. But the whole purpose of this is to actually teach on this channel to help you guys along on certain topics. So I will be breaking it down. I'll be doing one. I think I already did one on crystals, but I'll do one on dreams. I'll do one on numerology. I'll do one on, what do I have here? Dreams, moon phases. Yeah. Candle magic, what the difference is between the different types of magic and stuff like that. But when you do your own research and you practice with some of the witchcraft stuff that you like, for instance, if you love to cook, maybe you can get into witchcraft to do with herbs and use them for your cooking and add your spells through your cooking. Now, I love to cook, but I'm not, one thing that I don't remember is when I'm cooking and I throw in a dash of this and a dash of that of what it is. I got to get into the habit of that when I'm actually doing magic in the kitchen. But that's because I don't like to do magic in the kitchen that way. I like to actually have it more ceremonial, where I come down here and I do something that feels like I'm that I can meditate and stuff. Where when I'm cooking, I don't feel the same way when I'm doing my cooking. I'm very quick when I cook. So I'm not really thinking as to, I'll put some salt in here for protection. If that's what you want to do, by all means, do it. But if you don't do that, and don't worry, you don't have to add magic to your kitchen. You don't have to do that. You can use your herbs in jar spells, in making potions and rubs and stuff for the bath. You can do a whole bunch of different things. I brought these out. These are little oils that I've done one of my classes on, for the oils for each moon, new moon, full moon, whatever.
You
I
can do it
think I
with
have
showers
protection.
and baths too. Like
That too, if
basically
you
anything
have.
you're doing,
Yeah, you can add witchcraft to pretty well anything.
anything. Even when I smoke,
Well,
my
yeah,
addiction.
your
No, I'm not chewing on any carrots yet, but
cannabis, you can do
smoking
it too.
or cannabis, you can have the intentions of letting go of all that negative insanity.
Yeah.
And same concept. Basically anything you do.
Oh
anything you
yeah,
do.
absolutely.
And even your shampoos, like, or conditioners, whatever, and body washes, all of them have different herbs and stuff in them.
you
Got
can get
like
some
tea
with
tree oil and
you can
lavender,
and eucalyptus.
you don't even have to put any herbs on it. You got
rosemary.
it all in
Yeah,
there.
you could
It's
if
ready
you
to
want
go.
to, right? You
Washing
might
your hands.
Yes, absolutely. Brushing your pets, taking their hair and thinking about them as you're brushing them and performing animal magic with them by just embracing them and having them join in. I'm looking to see if Ariel's around here because she usually likes to purchase.
She was for a bit. And
She's
then
on
she
the
left.
couch.
She got sick of the fact that I wasn't petting her anymore.
Yeah, but she likes to be here when I'm doing magic.
Same with Cray Cray.
Yeah, right.
My cat Cray Cray, before I came on the lives with her, it was very important to him that he was sitting with me watching. Very important.
Very important.
One time I didn't let him because one of the ingredients was catnip in the spell. Very upset. He just stood in the window pissed. But now Cray
He's
Cray
gotten over that now.
I'm sure Cray Cray is watching me now with my husband and daughter. No doubt.
But that's the way that you can incorporate your pets into it too. You can, whether or not it's taking a shower. If I take a shower, like first thing in the morning is usually when I grab my shower, and that's when I do my cord cutting ritual. I ground and protect. So before I even get out with my day, I'm getting in the shower. I'm doing a cord cutting ritual. I'm visualizing that water, wiping and washing everything away. Sometimes I'll throw soap in it. Sometimes I'll visualize that the soap is what's removing everything, all the debris, all the negativity and stuff like that. This is all your power. Remember, witchcraft is nothing without you.
I like Sherry and Daniel. Fucking awesome ideas. Sherry's saying to stir a pentacle into everything she cooks. That's what she does.
Oh, yep.
What an awesome idea. I never even thought of that.
Yep.
I'll be doing that.
Brian taught me to actually do that. So now I actually do that. But where I didn't think of that before too. Because I don't do kitchen magic because I do a lot of candle magic. Right. So you don't think of that.
That's
stuff.
An awesome idea. I like that. And Daniel, he was saying he's a dishwasher at work, so he does magic doing dishes. They come out the machine extra clean and love and prosperity on each one. That is awesome. Go. Even dishes, washing dishes. Yeah, exactly. That's an awesome idea.
And that's a great way of bringing it into your workplace without anybody knowing. Right? You don't have to let people know. If you're in the closet about it, if you're in an area, some of you in the States, unfortunately, are in the southern areas where it is like, you don't talk about it. You don't talk about it. It's bad. Horrible. It's horrible. Like everybody who does witchcraft is, bad people, right?
Yeah.
Which isn't true at all.
I feel so bad for them.
Oh my God. If so only people knew how peaceful and don't get me wrong, there are going to be witches out there that practice black magic and stuff like that. And I'm not beneath it. I will practice what I need to practice to protect myself and those I love. If we're talking about a rapist, if we're talking about a pedophile, believe me, I will go there if I have to. Okay. But there has to be a reason for it, for me anyways. For somebody else, maybe it's not so much. Maybe they just go right into it because they don't care. Mm-hmm. That might be their,
A lot of people think they have to talk, like they have to speak and da-da-da and do their incantations out loud. You can say it all in your head. Doesn't make a difference.
No. There's definitely more power if you speak it out loud, but that depends on how comfortable you are. You can make your spell just as powerful in your mind. Just you standing there and just going. Maybe to you, that might not be anything, but to me, that might have been, I'm calling back my power. And I'm raising my arms to embrace all of it. And I'm bringing it in as I'm saying that I'm getting goosebumps, right?
Right.
And bringing all of that in.
Yeah.
That's because that's the energy I'm looking for. That's the energy I'm pulling down. I'm pulling from the moon, right? I'm grabbing that energy and I'm wrapping myself around it. You can do it with the sun too, guys. You don't have to do it with the moon. You can do it with the sun as well. And you don't have to have anything up in the sky for you to call that power to you either. That's your energy. Visualize it. If that's what you see, if you're like Harry Potter and everything you're touching is turning to magic and you're going like this and over here, bam, bam.
I just pictured you in your little underoos, Mrs. Wonder Woman.
Take that and that.
Wonder Woman over here,
right?
Yeah.
True story. You have no idea. It's a true story.
Lord.
But with that enough, you probably felt the energy shift in here, and
Big
it gets
time,
a lot hotter in here when I do any type of energy work.
Yeah.
And that's because of the energy that I'm putting into it. I believe in myself
Yeah.
when I'm doing that stuff. If you're not going to believe in yourself and you're going to
don't doubt yourself. Don't second guess.
I think you're not going to feel any energy from me just going like this.
No.
But if I put my arms up like this and I feel it and I'm expressing myself and I'm feeling it, I'm like, that's mine. That's mine. That over there. That over there. You don't need a wand. You use your finger. You pull it in.
You're the
you
magic.
Use your arms. You pull it in. You use both hands. You pull it in. Bring it down. Pull it up. Whatever you need to. Pull up your panties. Whatever you need to do. If you lost them, who knows?
Rosemary's around, she's got to find her panties.
I can't guarantee if Rosemary's around. You have no idea.
Where did the panties go? Yeah.
But that's where I'm going with this, guys.
For those who are new, she loves the smell of rosemary.
I love rosemary.
Orgasmic, blah blah blah.
It's very.
Just
do we
so
have
you know,
any?
No, there's no rosemary. It's all gone.
I'm looking around to see where my rosemary
It's gone.
is.
It's gone. I hit it
somewhere. No,
I mean it's gone.
No, it's not. I have a big bottle.
Yeah.
Had to.
Oh,
now, some people would have thought that I was a crystal witch back in the day because I've got crystals all around the house.
Good Lord.
I've got crystals all around the house. I'm not, but I do work with crystals. I do see the energy in crystals. I use them in my spells. I use them around my spells. I use them around my house. And whatever I feel that I can.
Daniel, don't encourage her. He has rosemary there. That's great. Phil's going to be like, why is there a ticket? A plane ticket?
Rosemary, where are you?
Oh, Lord. Daniel, don't encourage it.
No, don't encourage. But look at it from that perspective, guys. If you guys are searching and you have an interest in something, and if it is crystals and you love working with crystals, work with crystals. But if
Juanita,
one day
nice,
you don't want to work with crystals and you want to work with something else, you don't have to be a crystal witch all the time. You don't have to.
I mix everything up. I don't.
I use crystals. I love my candle spells, and I do my candle spells. You know why? Because I love writing on a piece of paper what I want to manifest, what I want to get rid of, what I want to bring in, and I love burning it, knowing that once it's burnt, it's done. It's set out there. It's
that
gone.
Visual.
It's a visual for me.
I'm the same way,
and that's what I love about that. Where believe me, I've got tons of little, you guys can't see them, but I have tons of little spell jars around me too. And you can try just a little bit right up there.
Oh, we won't even discuss all the other cabinets, but yeah.
I got lots of stuff, but it's also from collecting over the years. And it's taken time for me to get this. Believe me, it didn't happen overnight. It's cost me, and I probably have, and I'm not lying, I probably have thousands of dollars worth of oils here, but I use them, and I've had them for years, and I don't buy them all at the same time. I buy them as I go. I even take the opportunities if I have the plants that I can grow, like rosemary, which, by the way, I want to do a cinnamon oil. I want to do a cinnamon oil.
Okay. So you're going to get into rosemary again.
No, but I do want to make
cinnamon oil is good to have.
Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. And because I want to infuse some brooms.
Oh, I know. I want to do that. I've been wanting to do the broom. I have a broom upside down, but I did. Someone keeps moving it.
Is that your ghost? Is your ghost moving?
No, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Or Saffron, whoever's going to sweep, which is fine. They can clean. But I need a separate broom because I always have my broom upside down beside the door so that I don't get any, especially when his mother and father come over. I make sure that fucking broom is right there. And then it's, But I would like to throw some little bit of cinnamon on that just to make it, nice.
Yes, I think so too.
That's my plan.
But yes.
I got to get myself a broom.
Yes.
Thanks for cleaning though, Anthony and Saffron. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Now, something else that you might want to look into as well. I'm trying to see if I'm.
Daniel's asking about crystal witches. Crystal witches?
About what about crystal witches?
Like Christian witches? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I'm not sure. Spell that again, Daniel. Crystal witches.
CHRISTO. Is that like Christian witches? Yeah, Christian witches. I've heard of that, but I'm not into it because I don't like anything to do with.
Yeah, I'm not associated with religion. Yeah. What were you asking about? I forgot.
What everyone's opinions are on it.
Oh, what everybody's opinions? Well, I guess it's to each their own. Like everybody, I know some Catholic witches, and do they follow the Catholic? Not most of them.
No, because a lot of Christian faith is very much against it if they're going toward
which
is with the Bible. They're against
it, because pagan because the Bible or the Christmas tradition is very pagan.
Christmas is all the holidays.
Are actually pagan. Yeah, which I find very, very odd that people don't realize. Religion was brought in to make freaking money. Yep. Sorry, it's political to me. And I don't agree with it. And that's why I don't want to associate myself under a religion.
But to each his own. If someone's into like Christian witches, like they're still family to us. Like it's not a But personally, I'm not into it. Personally.
No, and teach their own. Like and that depends on the other side too, I guess, right? But let's see.
Research it though, yeah. Research it because you don't know until you look it up and research it.
Yeah. Now, I keep on missing which one. Oh, one of the things that I do want to say, because I could talk a lot about this, and it's hard to cover everything, guys. So if there's something that I haven't mentioned that you'd like to know, by all means ask. And if I can't get around to saying anything on this live, I will always do another live. We can always go over it. But, meditation, guys. You've heard me say this before. You'll hear me constantly say it. If you're going to learn anything, learn to meditate. I know it's a pain in the ass.
That doesn't have to be that long either.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Meditations, so many people go, I have to learn for meditation. The reason why you'll hear me say you need to learn meditation is because the only way you're going to be able to hear your guides, your angels, your ascended masters, your starseed family, your whoever your deities that are coming in to work with you, you need to be able to silence your mind enough to be able to hear them. If you can't hear the guidance that's coming in, then you've got to practice your meditation. Yeah. If you're good at meditation and you can hear or you follow your guidance, then I'm not going to sit there and say, meditate when you want to, right? But for those who don't know how to communicate and those who don't know how to tune in to your mediumship abilities or your psychic senses, it's because you need to meditate. You need to be able to silence your mind enough to be able to hear the guidance that's being given to you. Okay.
And it shows respect to your guides or whoever you're looking towards. Because if all you use them for is just for your spells, I need you to help me with this, I need you to help me.
That too, yeah.
There's no connection. You have to
No.
bond with your guides. And so having that meditation that you take your time out, it means a lot to them as well.
Right. And you're recognizing, even for yourself, even if you don't work with any guides or anybody like that, you want to be able to take time out for yourself so that you can pause and reflect. Because there's going to be so many times you're going to get so many epiphanies. By all means, you're going to have so many epiphanies that you're going to say, oh my God, it's going to be your eureka moments. You're going to feel like you're dying. It's called a spiritual ascension or a spiritual awakening. It's called a couple of different things. That's what that is. It's a breakdown of wondering what is real and what is not. It's waking up to the falsehood that's out there. And when you wake up and you realize what is fake and what's not, that's where your magic is. That's where your magic is.
And Tiffany, I get what you mean. Like it can be hard when you got all these voices and stuff. But here's the thing, like if what I do is I will start a candle, not like a small candle, but a little bit bigger of a candle so that it lasts a bit. And then it forces you to stay until that candle's done. I'll make that rule ahead of time where I'm like, okay, stay until this candle's done. So I have no other choice but to stay there and focus and meditate.
Yeah. And if you're focusing on that candle, the flame of the candle, it does that's a form of meditation. It's a way of meditating. It's a way of meditation is focus. That's what meditation is. Meditation is being able to quiet yourself enough to be able to focus and hear that guidance. So if you're doing it through a candle flame, here's my candle. You're doing it with your candle flame, you might feel like you're going cross-eyed. Okay. But you can visualize your candle and you stay focused on your candle. Practice your flame. Practice keeping focus of your flame. Practice seeing if you can move your flame. Okay. These are little things that you might learn as you're going. I practice telekinesis. I like practicing telekinesis, and I can do telekinesis. I'm not perfect at it. It takes me a long time to get it, but it's great practice learning with the candle.
Yeah, and the smoke.
Oh, I put my smells in it too, and it smells so good.
It's not rosemary.
It's not rosemary, but it's like pumpkin spice and
it's
all it's the almond, bitter almond and stuff like that. Oh, so good too.
But yeah, even smoke too. Mm-hmm. You can focus on the smoke as well.
Which, yes, smoke, smudging, if anything, that is one essential that you should get into the habit of. Cleansing, okay. Cutting cords, grounding, protection. Cleansing and cutting cords are very similar, okay. Cleansing, you're just removing what is attached. You don't want it. You can visualize yourself having a knife and like you're cutting it down, cutting it off. You can pretend that you're getting scissors. And if you need to have this stuff and you pretend that you're cutting off all the cords, make sure you don't cut your hair. But if you need to have a visual, I usually grab one of my, I don't see it right out. It's probably on my station or it's in one of my, is it in here? No, it's not. But what I'll do is I'll take one of I have a selenite wand that I'll bring with me and I use it because it cleanses the aura. So it does both for me. So that's why I'll use that. Grounding. Before you do any type of spiritual work, always make sure you're grounded. You want to make sure you're grounded in the energy that you're using, because if you're not going to be able to control that energy that you're using. Okay. And it can become chaos. You don't want to. You want to be able to contain your energy. You want to be able to contain your spell. And you might not be able to physically see your spell working or your spell manifesting, but over time, you'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to visualize knowing where that energy is directing. Like I said, when I'm putting up my arms like that, even though you don't see me grabbing the moon or grabbing anything, that's what I'm doing. And I visualize doing that. And when I do that, I feel that power and I feel that energy that goes through me. And it doesn't matter if Shannon's beside me or not, I'm probably going to bring it down, and she's probably going to feel that energy anyways, because that's how powerful I am when I'm doing this stuff. Okay. But that is that out of everything, guys, protection. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need to have a protection ring? Yes and no. Depends on what you're doing. Depends on who you're with, what type of spell you're doing. But you want to be able to keep yourself protected. It's the main thing. You don't want to do any type of spiritual work without knowing what you're dealing with, whether or not it's a spirit board that you're using, which, by the way, is no different than using a tarot deck. But it comes down to protection. It comes down to respecting your tools. You don't get a Ouija board and you start saying, well, have you done this? And then, I can't, have you been with the Virgin Mary? Like you've heard of stuff like this. Taurus, you don't say stuff like that, guys. That's so irresponsible of working with a board that you really don't know. And who made these boards saying 8 and up? Seriously? Holy jeez.
And there's a Barbie board too now for
yes, 3 and
3
up.
years old.
3 and up. Guys, these kids don't know what they're doing.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to have a whole bunch of little demon monkeys around.
There's some already.
Oh my God, I know.
That's why I'm fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Saffron. You're great. Anyways.
But I can go on forever. I've got so many things that I could talk about, guys. Rituals, all this stuff. But you know what? What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to pick one of these each week, or not each week, but once a month to thoroughly go through, this being the first one of just talking about a whole bunch of stuff. And then we'll start going through my list as like the types of magic. I'll go through like candle magic and herb magic and stuff like that, but it's going to take time. And clearly I need to have content for my page. I can't get everything done in 1 week, right? It prevents me from having months or years worth of content for you guys. And if you are new to my channel and you haven't been to any of my other lives, I have a whole bunch of videos on YouTube that either there's crystals. I already have one about how to learn how to ground, cut cords, ground and protect your energy. I have one on puppet magic.
Crystals.
Crystals I've already mentioned. I think I did one on healing, herbs. I did one on protection, salts, and there was one that we did on curses and hexes, how to identify that and how to take care of it. So if there's anything here that I haven't gone through that you'd like to see, or that I haven't done a video on, you know where to find me. I'm on Facebook. You can send a message to myself or Shannon being my assistant. Okay. So she'll be able to get that information back to me, and I will make some classes coming up that I will be putting on YouTube so that it's free, accessible to you guys. What else do I need to add? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because that really helps.
As always.
That
and
always helps.
And I like to say, because she does put a lot of time and effort and money into spells and all that. I've seen her. I've had to lug around with her through Dollarama and protect her ass. There's a donate button. You can 25 cents. Who cares? Anything, something, anything. Just to show appreciation, because this woman, she's given so much of her time and her education that she put money into, and all the spells and rosemary.
Well, I thank you guys all so much. But yes, if you'd like to donate, by all means, it's on my website. Any donation, there is no there's no minimum requirements. It's nothing like that. And if you don't, it's not a big deal either. I appreciate.
Yes, there is. Sorry. The timing. Tiffany, yes, there is. It's the Witches of Eastview. Actually, the chat. She's wondering if there's a chat through Facebook.
Yes.
There is. The Witches of Eastview.
Yes.
Yes.
You can find me on the Witches of Eastview Spiritual Empowerment Group on Facebook. You can find Shannon and I in that group actively. You can find me alone as well, as Aurora Moon or as Cynthia. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm here every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live readings. Next week is on family. This past one, if you haven't seen it, I did money. You're going to want to watch that. That was a good one. And what else do we have coming up? Oh,
The best part. The best part. Oh my God. Speaking of Stephanie.
Live
Stephanie
spirit
like
board
this.
sessions, live spirit board session that we're hoping, because Shannon and I are already building up trying to build up a relationship at a
cemetery
that we're going to plan on going there for the live session. Crossing my fingers, hopefully it'll work. Live session at the graveyard.
Yes, you can join us
doing a live spirit board session. So, and yes, it's safe if you take the proper channels. If you've never done it before, please don't go ahead and do it. You need to have experience with doing that.
Yep.
Okay, because you do need protection. You do need to know what you're doing, and you do need to know how to remove anything that wants to come home with you before you leave. Okay,
but that'll be next Thursday.
Yes, that
not this Thursday. Next.
No.
Whoa!
No,
whoa!
Next Thursday is the simmer pot.
My bad.
Next
week,
we're
jumping. We're getting excited.
I'm doing the simmer pot. The Samhain. Samhain. I said Samhain. Samhain. That's because I know so many people say it's Samhain. It's not Samhain. It's Samhain.
My bad.
Yes. Because it's I think it's like a Celtic, right? Samhain.
Honestly,
well, Irish. I think there's some Irish descent in it, but it's there's a few different ways of spelling or pronouncing it. But anyways,
simmer pot. We're
going to do a simmer pot, Samhain simmer pot, as well as a renewal spell. That because we're coming up to the Samhain, which is the witches' New Year's, which is on the 31st, and we're going to be doing the renewal spell so that you can clear all your energies before the end of the year, the witch's year. Okay.
Gaelic. Yes. Daniel's saying it's Gaelic.
Gaelic. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I hate religion.
I understand.
I know. I hate religion too. That's why I don't do it. And then the following week is going to be the live spirit board session.
That way we have a couple weeks to
connect and
get a relationship
built up and stuff like that. Yeah. We've already been going to the cemetery, but we need to build up a relationship with the gatekeeper first and make sure that all is good before we even attempt it. So that's why I'm saying we're crossing our fingers that we can do the spirit board session in the cemetery, because we want to have permission before we go ahead and do that. And that comes from going through the gatekeeper first. So crossing our fingers. So if all goes well, then we're going to do that. And yes, next week is the simmer pot and readings. So readings for money. If you guys haven't watched it already, that was past Monday. That was a good one too. Pisces, don't worry. If you're Pisces, you're the only one that went through the ringer, but I see good coming out of it anyway, so don't you worry.
8 a.m. Friday morning. So I'm watching these while smoking.
Okay. Well, wow. Okay.
That works. That's fine.
There you go. There 8 a.m.
Well, good morning to you. And good night to everyone else.
Great. Yes, I don't know where you're from, Tiffany, but the time difference, if that's where you are. Thank you for joining us. It's so early in the morning. That's amazing. We've got after 9 o'clock here in the evening. So I will be tuning. I can't. Oh my God! I can't speak. I can't. I will be tuning out. tuning out. Tuning off.
You've tuned out a long time ago.
I tuned out a long time ago. Yeah, you know what? It's been a rough week.
Yep.
It's been a rough week for so many people.
Put it nice.
Just a little bit nice. No, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a rough week for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
So I'm not chewing on any goddamn carrots.
right now.
Oh yes, and Anthony still has his acorn in his pocket. He's so
Oh,
happy he
yes.
found one. Keep an acorn in your pocket until the spring and then give it back to the earth. Yes.
Yes, there we go. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to say goodnight for right now because I could talk for hours on this because there's so much to cover. Like I haven't even dented, but at least this is a good start for you guys to get going on first. Tons of books out there. Do your research, find out what is pulling you in the direction. If it's dice, if it's cards, if it's crystals, not one is more than the other. Each one is just as balanced as the other. It's whatever you feel is comfortable. You could be dabbling in all of them or none of them at all. It's totally up
Doesn't
to you.
matter.
Okay. You could be doing one at one time and, I've gone from crystals to cards to whatever. It goes all over the place. It depends on, it depends on how I feel.
Yep.
Honestly, there's no rule. And don't let anybody tell you that there's a rule because they're lying. They're lying.
Their lips are moving.
There's more. Yes, there is more rules for a Wiccan tradition. Absolutely. If you're following a Wiccan tradition or you're following a traditional Wiccan or witch type path, absolutely. But that's up to you. I do not. I follow the beat of my own drum, and that's for a reason. I'm an Aquarius. I don't like being told that I have to. I'm
Oh, yeah. That's why I am her bodyguard and her extra large executive coffee executive assistant as well on top of that.
But she needs the extra large just to keep up with
me. And a smoke. No.
Anyways, witches, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
I will see you on Monday for the readings and then Thursday for the simmer pot.
And Tuesday morning Tiffany, I guess, eh?
There you go.
Awesome.
Ciao for now, witches. See you next time.
See ya. Be good. If you can't be good, don't get caught.